We are live. All right, because I just got it in the chat. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So hey, look, we got wonderful treat here. Got a little spinoff here. They got me up here on Tuesday talking about my favorite pastime. And as y'all know, I'm Christopher Barris. Also got Jamal working the controls. You know who he is. And we got a special guest here, DJ Lonnie with the sports talk. And he is very detailed like me. So this is a treat for me. I am excited. I can't wait to just dive in. So we're gonna be talking about, basketball. And first, I'll ask you, Lonnie, what is basketball? What does that mean to you as a person coming up? What was basketball to you?
Man, basketball was just a sport where you could just play. You don't even have to play 5-on-5. You could play 21 and have fun with it, play horse. It's just shooting the ball in a hoop, man. You know what I'm saying? And the fun of it is just being together and just having fun, basically. Just, the sport. I mean, if you don't love the sport, you fall in love with it. Just put it like that. Because basketball is one of those sports where you just basically communicating with each other, because it's a lot of communication. You know what I'm saying? You got to communicate with one another. And it's just a sport that you could grow up on. And actually, it keeps you in shape. You know what I'm saying? If you play, it keeps you in shape majorly.
I got to get out there again, man. You ain't lying. At the age
so
I am,
guys, we older, we get out there, man. We be sluggish. You know what I'm saying?
Look, no contact. Look, we ain't even touching that paint. We allergic to that area.
Like we just gonna shoot the ball. We gonna shoot the ball. We gonna stay at the 3-point line. Just shoot those threes. But like, yeah, my name is Steph Curry. Just shoot.
Look, all day long. You ain't lying.
Yeah,
man.
so
You ain't
I mean,
lying.
it's an amazing sport. You know what I'm saying? And in today's game, though, but like in my younger days, though, the game has changed. Though, it changed in a major way.
Yeah.
What we was talking about a little bit earlier about, how a lot of the young cats, they like to shoot the threes now. So it's a lot of 3-point shots that's shot up. You know what I'm saying? And now we going into detail. We talking about Butler, that took that shot. You know what I'm saying? It's younger folks that's younger than Butler, but he should have known better though. But we're gonna get into detail to that though.
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah, we gonna get into that in like 1 second. But yeah, basketball, I can't complain it or rebuttal what you said. Like, it's a sport that's obviously saved my life, kept me out of trouble, kept me in shape, it kept me with in tune to other people that play the game, respect the game, and like Saturdays, Sundays, mornings, that was like the best ever. The triple hitter, you know what I'm saying? Like, you in the house all day. And what was crazy about our era, you know what I mean, when we would watch them play, we would go outside and try to do the moves. Versus like today, they go to play 2K and try to do the move there. Like we were trying to see like if that move really worked, if the little quick little crossover with Tim Hardaway, would that work, or MJ's fadeaway, or Kobe's turnaround, or any of those like explosive like moves. We loved it. And it's like if it worked, you got hated on by your peers and people. I think he Jordan trying to shoot that turnaround. Like, hey man, look, been outside working on it.
Right.
Like straight up. And yes, the game has changed. And yes, so moving forward with that, like you stated, the 3-point shot. It's very, very, very relevant in today's game. And so going to Butler, 18.5 on the clock. That's like a semi-fast break because he got the rebound.
Right.
So it's a semi-fast break. It's a 3-on-3 opportunity. And he pulls up and shoots the 3. So do you agree with that shot?
There's a lot of people, well, one of the sportscasters said she loved the shot. I forgot her name. She said she actually loved the shot. Me personally, there's a capital N and an O. No. Bad shot. Because for the simple fact that now you have more of a chance. You pull up for the three, but your 3-point ability, even though you score high points within this game and that game, but I don't think that you're not Steph Curry. Let's put it like that. You're not Ray Allen or a Larry Bird or something that your three or Robert Horry, where your 3-point shooting is more consistent. You're not that. So you go to the hole. You go to the hole and try to draw a foul. And you hit those 2 free throws to tie the game up, or you go for the 2 or the layup. It's common sense to me. You know, I've been playing basketball all my life, you know what I'm saying, until I got older. But I'm just saying, I'm going to the hole. I'm taking that ball straight up into the paint and trying to draw contact. To either try to draw a foul and try to make that layup. Because, first of all, you came from behind all these points. You wasn't up. You know what I'm saying? So the momentum is strictly Boston. The whole game it was Boston. So why would you want to put that risk of a 3-point shot when you ain't even took the lead nearly none of the game almost? Like, you get what I'm saying? It was kind of odd. So it was a bad shot. That's just my personal, viewpoint of it, you know.
And for that young lady, and I don't like to bash anybody, and I'm not, but for her to be on live television or on a national stage and say that was a great shot or love the shot, then you don't know basketball. Because, see, the number one rule in shooting a jump shot, especially a 3, you don't shoot that when there's no one under the rim to what? Rebound the ball.
Exactly.
So there was nobody in the paint.
Yeah.
So that was fact number 1. That's bad.
Yeah.
Number 2, you're a guard and you got a mismatch or a matchup with a power forward center. Now in pick and roll, that's the matchup you want.
Exactly.
You want the matchup with the big to what? Take them off the dribble to the basket.
Right.
So when Horford squared up to him, I got 18-5. Okay, boom. I'm gonna slow it up and run a set. Or, like you said, I'm straight to the basket to get a higher percentage shot where it's a 2. I get fouled. Maybe I get an and 1.
Yeah.
But I gotta guarantee 2 points out of this possession.
It's basically more possibility to you tying that game up or possibly winning the game.
Exactly.
Because you can even look at it as a long shot. What if he got fouled and made 1 free throw, so he's down 1. But then he misses the shot, but they end up getting a rebound and automatically put it back up, and you win the game. See, that was a long shot possibility. You get what I'm saying? You have to really think versus just a do or die where you just pulling up for the 3.
Yes.
You miss it, you know you're going to lose the game. You make it, you're possibly win the game. But
see, when he got the rebound, and he got the rebound, so he kind of like he went. Then he said, "Oh, okay, I got a fast break opportunity." So when he sped up, because see, I like went into real detail, just like really looking at it and freezing it.
Yeah,
you know. And before he crossed half court in this semi-fast break, Celtics already picked up their man in transition.
Yeah.
So it was fabulous defense on Boston's recognition.
Yes.
Where they manned up. Boom, boom, boom. You know, he had the 3. They locked that up. They had another option, other wing. They locked that up. The guy could have doubled. There was another guy. He could have doubled Butler and maybe forced something. but then he pulled back because he saw Horford was already in man-to-man coverage.
Yep.
So great defense on that. And so I actually, and people, if you think I'm lying, go back to it and look at it and look at when he shot the ball, right? And at the apex of his release, Horford's hand is like this, challenging the shot. So what does that mean? That you were not open. You took a contested three-point attempt with 18.5 on the clock. And that's another indicator that that is a bad shot. You know, and I don't fault Butler on this. I'm going to talk about him a little later. I don't fault Butler on this, but I fault how the NBA today is played, because everybody on earth knows to go to the basket. Kobe would have went to the basket. Tatum, like you said earlier, with some Kobe Bryant tendencies, would have went to the basket. Michael Jordan, no question, would have tried to post him up, or would have tried to just go through Horford to the basket. Like, there's no question that you have to go to the basket. And you know what? It's I don't like seeing it.
Let's go to another situation about the game. The situation that I want to go to that led up to Butler taking that bad shot.
Okay.
Is the actual game.
Okay.
The actual game was that Miami was never in it. Let's just put it plain and simple. Like, they tried to make that comeback. They did it the last game. I mean, you know, they make a come. It's always they was on the end of an edge, and they always tried to make a comeback. And I could see the struggle in Miami. And that struggle was their offense.
I agree.
The defense was okay, but Boston found out a way to move the ball around to get to the open man to hit the threes, and they was hitting the threes. You know, they just so happened to hit the threes. Yeah. Boston is a sometiming 3-point team. Sometiming. They could be on, they could be off. That's what Boston is. They could be on, they could be off. They're not always on because they have dry spells. Yeah. They have droughts of certain periods and stuff where they don't score enough. Tatum, he is around, but, you know, he only could do so much of what he could do. But then that means Smart have to step up and Jaylen Brown. And they have to do what they can. And Horford got to play how he's playing. But the moral of the story is of what I'm trying to get to is that Miami was never in the game.
I agree. And the reason for that, no, this is no shot against Jimmy Butler. I like him. Yeah. But I like Jimmy Butler when he was a defensive player first. Right. That is what got his name in the NBA. He was a defensive player first. And when you try to exert offense, then you lose that defensive edge. So here's the issue that I mildly have with Butler. And it's not saying that he's not superstar talent. It's not saying he's all-star talent. But he's a gentleman that he's a piece to your championship. He's not the piece, and that makes sense. So let's go back with Metta World Peace, aka Ron Artest, when Ron Artest was over there in Houston. Indiana? He was in Houston. He was in Houston. Indiana, he was more like a defender. Pacers, I mean, in Houston, he was kind of, they needed him to kind of score a little bit, and he did okay with that. But the one thing about Metta World Peace that he recognized in my assumption is that, you know what, I'm doing something that's not my norm. And where did he want to go? I want to go to the Lakers. I want to go to where Kobe is because Kobe scores. That's what he do. Let me bring my intensity on defense, my defensive savviness, let me bring that to the table, and along with these other intangibles on the floor will equal to a championship. It's the same with Dennis Rodman. If they was to ask Robin to score, Robin's not going to average a 15 rebound game because he's going to be trying to exert so much energy on offense. So I think with Butler, I'm not taking nothing away from him. He's a really great guy. He's really good, but for him to be the catalyst on offense, the team is going to struggle because that's just not his norm. And you see that because he's not getting attacked like these normal scorers like KD and Kyrie and Kobe and Mike, and where they got schemes of double teams and stuff on you. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why they couldn't survive.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have that score, really. Butler could score, but he was trying to do both. And basically they needed help. Miami really needed help. I mean, I think personally, I'm hypothetically speaking, if you would have added probably Embiid to the Miami Heat with their team, they probably would have beat Boston.
Oh, you got a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, just because you got a center now that could score, and you're missing that other score. All right, I'm going to Kyle Lowry. He came back, and I looked at how he played. He didn't play how he was with the Raptors. He was trying to find himself, but I know he was injured. But he came off this injury, but he didn't play how he was with the Raptors. He was all over the place. He played defense. He was going to the hole a little bit more. And I saw the little 15-footer, the little inside the key that he could have pulled up on instead of passing the ball. He was passing the ball a lot, and he could have. And I'm thinking of Chris Paul. Chris Paul, that little inside the free throw line, and you hitting that. That's all day. He wasn't doing that. He was bagging out, passing the ball too much, and Boston feed off of that. That's where you mess up at, because Boston has a good defense. So if you steady don't know what to do and don't know where your scoring is at, you're gonna fail. And Boston is going to capitalize off of it. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
So basically, when you add that of Boston's defense, and now the finals is coming up. See, now I'm about to go on the Golden State Warriors, because now you actually have shooters, on Golden State. You know what I'm saying? So you have these Warriors against these Boston Celtics. So now you actually have scoring now. You get what I'm saying? Like now I'm coming to the point. You have Steph Curry. You have Klay Thompson. You have Draymond Green, who's a hustler, who's that Dennis Rodman you talking about, and that Ron Artest. He'll get in your head a little bit, Draymond Green. And on top of it, they have experience. Boston is on the outside looking in, and they have a momentum of defense. When you speak of defense, they playing collective together. They actually finding themselves. They really. So to say this finals is going to be real deal, and I kind of think that the Warriors is going to do what they have to do because they have experience and they have home court advantage. And that's big. And they feed off of energy. Steph feed off of energy. Like, he hits every shot when that crowd goes wild. He's hitting. And then Klay, I think he haven't got up to his potential to a point where he's back playing where he used to play. You get what I'm saying? So I think this finals, I think he's going to ball out. I think Klay Thompson is going to ball out on the finals. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, so really brief. That's good. So going into the finals, so you are predicting for Golden State. to win the finals?
I believe that the Warriors will win the finals, not easily. I think they're gonna win. I give Boston 2 games. I think
Jeez.
it's going to be 4-2. I think I give them 2 games, and the reason why I say that is because Golden State had rest, a lot of rest. Sometimes it's too much rest that kills, but just based on their team that they have, they have a team that's hungry. Steph Curry came off his injury, and he's playing phenomenal. Then you got Klay Thompson came off an injury. He's hungry. They there, and they have the experience. They there. So Tatum is hungry, but I just think he don't have the weapons. Marcus Smart is good. He's a defensive player, and he's been playing good offensively. He's been hitting some good shots, but can he keep it up though? See, that's the question. Now we don't know if Marcus Smart could keep it up. We don't know if Al Horford could keep it up. We don't know if Williams, their center, could keep it up. He came back, but getting rebounds, they hungry, but can they keep it up? Tatum, I know Tatum gonna do Tatum things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know he gonna do what he do. But you going against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
So let's press pause right there. So I'm gonna give you a formula. I'm gonna see if I can change your mind.
Okay.
So Boston played Brooklyn. So they had Kyrie and
we get to it. I'm ready for this.
So you got some juggernauts there on offense, offensive players. They take out the defending champs.
But okay, I'm gonna let you finish. Brooklyn wasn't ready.
You're right.
Simple. They didn't. Their team was terrible.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right.
So and then they played Milwaukee. Now, in my personal opinion with Milwaukee plays a really different style of basketball. They're very physical offensively. Like, they don't mind bumping into you, grinding with you, and kind of going through you. And the catalyst of that implements that is Giannis out of the Kupo, so it's like, and they went through that, too. Only, and then obviously, then they went through Dallas.
Okay, hold that thought right there.
Not Dallas. I'm sorry.
With the Bucks,
Miami.
Yeah, Miami. But hold that thought with the Bucks. So now this is a fact. This is where a lot of people miss this statement I'm about to make. They was missing a key player. His name is Chris Middleton.
Okay, I agree.
If the Milwaukee Bucks had Chris Middleton, I think the Milwaukee Bucks would have beat Boston. Just for the simple fact it was more offense, because Middleton is he's like the Scottie Pippen of the Bulls. He missed out on all these games, and Boston took advantage. That's the same thing. I would have to say this. If Steph Curry gets injured or Klay Thompson gets injured, then Boston has a shot, because they took out one of their key players. And you need that type of offense to beat Boston, because they have a good defense. If your offense struggling, if you have a bad offense, you're not beating Boston. You're not beating Boston because they have a good defense. That's where I give credit to Boston. But too much offensive power and swinging a ball with Golden State with a momentum of your crowd, and you got the best three-point shooter in the history of the NBA. It's going to be very, very hard for them to beat them. They have to get in their head some type of way. They have to do something to stop.
Well, I agree. I agree with everything you say, but remember the old formula. Defense what?
Wins games.
Defense wins games. And like my prediction for them, I believe that Boston can beat Golden State in 6. The reason why I say that, because you don't want to go 7 games with the Warriors because they have home court. So if I'm Boston, I need to steal game 1 or 2. I need to steal. If I can steal game 1 or 2, I need to just win my home games. I'm going to go more critical. I'm going to just put it on Boston that Boston needs to win game 1. If they could get on that road with a split and get that loss out the way, you got a chance that all the thing that Boston needs to do is just win their home games. If they win their home games, even when it does that 1-1 and jumps back and forth, if Boston just wins, if they get a steal and win all their home games, so they could beat them in 6. So I think that Boston has to beat them game 1. Me personally, and how to do it, I think that there's certain guys that you're not going to stop. You're not going to stop Curry. You may not be able to even stop Thompson if they start getting going. But their rookie or that other kid, him.
Get Wiggy with it. Wiggins.
Yeah, Wiggins. Those dudes, you got to keep them at a mediocre game. If they get double-digit points on you, that's going to increase the chances to win. Because then when you look at the layout, when it's like 30, 28, 15, 12, 12, it's going to be like, ooh, wait a minute. Some of these dudes are above their average. Some of these dudes might only average 5-6 points a game. But when they got 12, 13, and then the outcome is that you lost by 6, because it'll turn into a numbers game. So I think they have to do that too, because now the interesting thing for me with Golden State is that they have the ability. They got about 4 guys on the court at all times that have the ability to take their man off the dribble. So that Molly makes me a little nervous because they could spread that Boston defense out. Golden State is great at that 5 wide. They could spread people on islands, and then they can pick and choose. I think the X factor for this game, particularly, it has to be Al Horford, because he's kind of like a hybrid big man, meaning inside and out. And see, if Horford starts knocking down that 16 and out jump shot, that's going to take Draymond out the key. And I think that got to be circled on the chalkboard. If I was Horford, I'm like, hey, not to put pressure on him, bro, but we need to run some pick and pop sets, get you to knock down that top of the key, top of the circle jumper, which will force Draymond to stay home, because, he's the anchor on the defense. Right. I think if the Boston could do that, I know it sounds easy when we talk about it, but, it's a little bit.
It's possible. It's possible.
I think that will increase their chances. But that, if I was Boston, like, look, I made a joke about it. Like, look, I ain't dealing with no chicks. I ain't going to no club. I'm drinking some water, eat some fruit. I'm sleeping, resting my legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming out there game 1, like, we running, like, running and gunning. And then, you know what? Not to say this and not to say that I'm just so pro Boston, but you know what? What's the old formula of how you stop great players in the game? You get them out of the game. Mm-hmm. So
mentally too.
I'm like this. Whoever got Curry on them and take him to the basket. Mm-hmm. Get this dude in foul trouble. To the basket. I don't care if you miss. Like, I'm going to take this 50-50 chance. I say if you get 10 hard drives to the basket with him, you're going to get 2 calls.
Yeah, but do you think they got the players to actually take them to the basket? Boston? If they had Kyrie, yeah. If they still had Kyrie.
Well, I would just say for guards, like, because they don't want to they're not going to put a big on Curry, or Curry switches onto a big. So I'm like, look, go to the basket. I might, to a sense, try to make the shot. This don't go to go, but you know what I mean? Like get this guy in foul trouble if you can. But see, I don't know how the NBA is so dicey with the calls because it's become a business too, where it's like they don't want the best players in foul trouble and stuff like that. So I don't know. And I know that sounds bad to say that too, but I do understand that, becoming older and looking at the game and understanding that, there's a lot of cards and a lot of chips involved. But I think if Boston does that, I think that they could get them in 6. And I think those will be some of the ways. Because, see, you know what? Golden State hasn't really dealt with no length yet. Like, everybody they kind of played has been small, even though they've been successful in small ball.
They played Denver with the Joker on there, and they wasn't that small. They played Denver, they beat them. They played Memphis. Memphis is a tough team. I think so. Sometimes in basketball, when you play harder teams, you realize of where your weaknesses were. And I think Golden State realized of where their weakness was when they played Denver, and then they went to Memphis, and they had to adjust. They barely got out of Memphis because Memphis is a hard-nosed team. They played defense as well, and they had offense, and they got out of that series. They were struggling. They had a hard time. But then they went to Dallas, and they kicked their butt. Basically, they found out how to stop Doncic and Luka, and they just found out a way, and they got better. So
and they didn't have no rim protection either. Dallas is like one piece away. Well, they needed a rim protector or some type of big presence. I think by them getting rid of Porzingis, I know we're drifting off subject, but I think when they got rid of Porzingis, I think that was like the worst thing they did. It was like, it sped up the offense for Luka Doncic, but then it took away so much of the paint protection. And you saw with Golden State, it just became a layup line. Like every time you look up, they laying a ball up. I'm like, what in the heck is this? Like, and so it changed the complexity of it. I mean, I think with Memphis, because of the athleticism in the guard position, it put a lot of stress on their guards. But I think that Boston can see that same type of athletic ability to the guards, because Brown and Tatum are athletic and they're young. Tatum, along with a little bit better shooting and a little bit more craftiness of scoring, but the athletic ability is still there. So it could bother them. It could, Let
me ask you this question. If you had a starting 5 and out of the small forwards, the only 2 people was left was Brown and Draymond Green, who would you take?
I'm going to say Brown. The reason why, Brown can give you that defense, maybe not that shutdown defense like Draymond, but with Brown, I could get more. I could get I could guarantee 15 points with him, and that's what ultimately going to win the game. We can break this down into so many different angles as far as like rebounding, steals, deflections, things of those natures, turnovers. Yeah, those do bring a pack to the game. But from Draymond's streaky 7 to 10 versus Brown's guaranteed 12 to 17, those points are hard to produce. Or where can I get these points from? Because then I gotta look at the personnel. Like, where am I gonna get this from?
Right.
And I think personally that I love Draymond Green, and I'm not bashing him at all. He's a good player, but I feel like because he doesn't score enough, he puts Golden State vulnerable. In my personal opinion. Like, I get it. You're a lockdown. I get it. But I think that you can give 10 points for the fact you can take a defender off the dribble, you can post, and you can knock down the three. So it's like it's not that he can't, he can. And so I'm like, if you was to get 10 shots a game or take 10 shots a game, I think that you could give me that 10, 12. But the fact that he won't take the shots, because we've seen it. I understand he's getting clear, he's them involved. I get that point. He's perfect role player. I get it. But
So
sometimes you gotta take that shot too.
so that's where I come in the picture at, is because I take Jamon Green. And the reason why
Okay.
I take him is because he's that role player.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not looking for the points from Jamon Green. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's a better passer
Mm-hmm.
than Brown.
Absolutely.
So you add Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, he's finding those men and they open. So this is the key factor to this finals right here. What I'm trying to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Boston has good defense, but when
Mm-hmm.
they get their feet running and stuff like that, and they don't know where to go,
Mm-hmm.
guess who's going to be open for that 3-point shot? It's Steph Curry. And
Mm-hmm.
for my stats, what I wrote down, the first time that Boston played Golden State, Steph Curry got injured.
Okay.
They won 110-88.
But who
110-88. They blew them
go to
out.
say one?
Huh?
Go to say one, 110-88?
No, Boston won.
Okay, so he ran away
They
with
took
it.
Curry
He was
out.
out. Okay.
So that goes to show you that if Steph Curry or Klay Thompson's injured, that's going to be a big factor. If throughout the game, if anybody injured, it's a big factor. But what I'm trying to get, my whole point is that they won that first game, but the next game that they played was very close. And they won, the Warriors won 111-107.
Okay.
But guess who had 5 3-pointers? Steph Curry. So, with that said, with Draymond Green playing that small forward, passing that ball, because that's the thing. If you have a good passer, and I'm speaking of Magic Johnson, I'm speaking of good passing, that's an important key of basketball in this game of today, is to pass the ball and find an open man. Because when a man is open, 9 times out of 10, they're going to hit the shot.
They supposed to, yeah, exactly. No, I agree.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I do love about the Warriors. So I don't want people to think I'm bashing the Golden State. The one thing that I loved about the Warriors was that what I felt like the Lakers should have did, hashtag them, but that they kept their core guys.
Yeah.
The guys they won with, it's like no matter what, we're going to stick with these guys, okay? And with these guys, with the championship aspiration, the championship pedigree, the experience, and like you said, the IQ, or they know where each other are without even looking. You know, with this game chemistry is a must in a high octane offense as well as defense too. That Golden State is extremely difficult to deal with. So it's like if Boston thinks they're gonna just come in and just have a defensive scheme against them, then they'll be sadly mistaken, because you're gonna have to score. You're gonna have to put points on the board. You're gonna have to some kind of way slow these people down. And just going in further depth with Steph Curry, a lot of people talk about his shooting, which is a wonderful key, but a lot of people don't give him credit of the type of shooting and the style of shooting that he does. Because when you think about like Reggie Miller was like come off the key or off a pick to the corner, knock down a 3. Allen Houston's the same way. Glenn Rice could kind of do the, pull up and shoot, maybe over most people because he was 6'8". Then Ray Allen, obviously with the guard set moves that he had like the ability to kind of shoot off the dribble. But Steph is possessed with all of those intangibles, that he moves phenomenal without the ball. off screen and roll. He can get in spots. He can get in creases and score. Runners, floaters, threes off the curl. If people don't know what that means, it's a screen that you run around and you shoot off the back foot when you come off of it. He's great with that. Pick and roll, obviously, because most point guards can only score threes in pick and roll because the pick pulls the guard to the paint and you leave with the big on the top of the circle. So Steph is a fabulous shooter. I want to just share that, because you're getting into real in-depth detail about, these particular players in the finals coming up. So, but, this ain't going to be a couch potato runaway for Boston because these three guys, Steph, Clay, and Draymond, their chemistry is there. They know where each other are. They have trust in one another. You'll see them pass up a pretty good shot to like a wide open, like, ooh, wait a minute. Ooh, he wide open, my guy. And they'll knock it down. And it's like, yeah, I see why he kicked it out because he knows that guy can knock that down. So, in my opinion, with the X factor with Golden State is going to be Klay Thompson. Because he's the guy that he's a predominantly set shooter, but he can shoot anywhere on the floor. So if they could find him in creases and in good spots, you look up and he'll have 20 points. You be like, damn, hold on, he only shot the ball like 6 times. How he got 20 points? Like, wait a minute, because about 4, 5 of them is threes, and. He made a strong to the basket. He might got 2-3 trips from the free throw line, and so it's gonna be fun to watch.
It's gonna be fun to watch. Like I said, I'm going outside the box. I already know what Klay Thompson and Steph Curry could do, and Draymond Green, but my guy is a starter, and his name is Wiggins. I mean, you got to give him when credit is due. Like Wiggins been playing good defense. Okay. A lot of people forget about him. He goes to the hole. He knows how to shoot, and he's playing lights out right now. I have to say. I mean, this is his best year, like his best postseason, whatever he had. Like this is
in his career. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
Wiggins is playing like a number 1 draft pick right now. And a lot of people is missing that as well. So to me, for Boston to win this championship, they would have to play hard like they did the last series, but they have to get out there and contest those 3-point shots and draw, what I'm saying? Like, hey, like they have to do that and they have to box out. They have to box out and play physical. For them to win, they have to keep that physicalness mind play in their heads because there's been a lot of dry spells that I seen when they was playing Miami, when Miami blew them out. They blew them out. Like, you're like, Boston just won, and now they get blown out.
That sounds like the youth that kicked in, thinking that they could come out there. And like you said, it's a mental thing, No, you're absolutely right.
With experience, right?
You're absolutely right.
I don't get me wrong. I think Tatum and Brown got experience, you know what I'm saying? But I just think that it's not enough to beat Steph, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They hungry. Them guys is hungry. And Draymond Green, I love his energy. I love the way. I love the way he talks, like bye, like I love because you need that. Dennis Rodman was somewhat like that, like bye, meta world peace. Ron Artest was like that, bye, like like that more. So where's Boston at? Al Horford trying to get it. He's trying to because he wants it back because this is first finals ever.
Yeah, he's been solid. He's had a solid career.
He's trying to get there, and they there, but I just don't think they have that enough power because Golden State look at this year. Steph Curry missed a lot of games. Klay Thompson came off a rough injury. And now they there. They at the finals right now.
Yeah, no, they're
gonna take it. Steph won it.
This is a really good year, and shout out to Steve Kerr for really orchestrating and organizing a great year for them to be in a position for them to try to capture another title. And and Golden State has been very dominant in the Western Conference, and we also know that to really beat them, they only really lost once, when it's like they lost to Cleveland, and that was just a good shot by Kyrie. Now the other time when they lost to Toronto, obviously that's when Thompson went out, so that was a humongous blow, offense that they lost, because Clay and Thompson play off of each other. They call themselves the Splash Brothers for a reason. So right. They equally shoot the ball very well. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of key components. You did make a great point about the physicality. I think if Boston can bring that type of intensity, it could maybe alter some things for them, because we have seen in the past that if you can match the intensity level and physicality with Golden State, it does alter some things. It doesn't stop it, but it puts you in positions to maybe get a steal. So
hold that thought, though. Hold that thought. Like I said, I give Boston credit. Shout out to Boston's coach. Give him credit, because that dude, I could see how Boston was playing. Miami, they was boxing out. That paint, they was getting that rebound. No, you didn't see no Miami players, you know what I'm saying, that like trying to get in the paint, trying to get the rebound, because that Boston was getting Al Horford, man, he was putting it on them.
You see, you make a great point there. For people that are watching about rebounding the ball, I will specify really quick, how important that is. Rebounding the ball is the staple, and that is the nail in the coffin as far as defense, because you can rotate, you can slide over, you can communicate, you can close out and box out. You can do all those things right and not get the defensive rebound.
Right.
And second chance points. There are champions behind second chance points.
Don't give Golden State second chance points.
I'm not even gonna lie. They second championship was second chance points. They second championship was second chance points. If you give a professional team 20, let's say 15 second chance points, if you times that by 2, that's 30 points. That is what? Not coached, not a play drawn up, none of that. It was just a simple hustle, 50-50 ball, grab the rebound, laid it in, and before you know it, you be down 20 points, even though you could be shooting 45% from the field. But second chance points are one of those things that show up on the stat sheet where it's like, how did we lose? And you be like, wait, we had 32 rebounds, they had 55. Ooh,
right.
So yeah, and those were stolen possessions, so you did make a great point there. I wanted to just specify with people out here watching how important rebounding the ball is too. Like rebounding the ball, because there are some teams that wasn't good, but rebound the ball well. Like the Spurs in their heydays when they were winning, the Spurs knew how to slow you down to a crawl. Yeah. But then when you looked at the rebounds, it's like, damn, they don't give up no offensive rebounds. Like, you ain't getting no rebounds. You 1 and out. So even if it takes them and then you go droughts without scoring. It'd be like 5 minutes your bucket ain't been in. You know how many possessions that is in 5 minutes? That's like colossal. So
like I said, today's game. I'm going kind of off the subject, but if you was to add David Robinson and Tim Duncan on any one of these teams today, they would have won like all the championships because of rebounding and just the domination of the big man. I mean, we lagging big men, nowadays. You know what I'm saying? It's all about outside shooting, and that's what it is. And since it's outside shooting, Golden State has the edge because I feel that Boston can't keep up with Golden State shooting. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up offensively with Golden State. Defensively, yes. Defense win championships, yes. But when you have a special player and a three-point shot specialist, the greatest three-point shooter, there's a question mark because, like I said, and I even said this, I said that at some time of the series, Golden State is going to be down 20 points. Boston is going to be kicking a butt. Sometime of the series, Boston is going to be up big. But are they going to win the game?
I agree with that.
You get what I'm saying? I really believe it might be game one. I won't be surprised if the score is like 35-20. You know what I'm saying? The first quarter or something like that, or second, I wouldn't be surprised, but I really think they can't pull it out and win because they can't score. They can't score on a consistent basis. They can score. Let me correct that. They can score, but they can't score on a consistent basis, meaning they can't. I seen those. It's just like, what is Boston doing? How is Miami coming? Miami did it the last game. They was up 16 points. They was up 15 points. So you can't capitalize off of that. You can't go up by 30.
Yeah, and like Jamal's even saying in the comment here, the Golden State second chance points is threes, and that is true.
It is.
That that they, you get, if you get 10 trips, and let's say 4 of those trips are offensive rebound second chance points, they knock off 12 points. Easy. So if you up 16, you knock down 12 points, they up 4. You only up 4 points.
Man, all I see is
they coming up with the ball.
All I see is Steph Curry. All I see is Steph cooking. That's all I see. I don't see nobody else but Steph cooking.
We gonna go back to
it's just like I got stuff right now with what you talking about, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it is. We're gonna get back into this because I want to stress about this comment that I just read. I saw it. It was glowing in the dark here, but from Miss Randy Williams. LeBron James #1. So, okay. So there's a lot of GOAT talk as you've been noticing, and they want to put LeBron over Mike.
No.
Okay, so you didn't even let me sit this out. So okay. I'll allow you to. So why? Because you just subconsciously, you didn't even think about it. You just said no. So
no.
Even though he's passed him in points, he's passed him in minutes played, maybe. There's some other things that he might be better at than Mike. But in your opinion, and I'll speak my opinion after yours. So in your opinion, so LeBron James, you think, let's just say if he gets the all points leader, let's say he beats Abdul-Jabbar. So even with that, would you say that LeBron James is the greatest of all time to play in this game? Okay.
No. I right off the back, I got my top 4 guys, and I'm gonna go. It goes like this: Michael, and I didn't like Michael that much. at all because I'm a Laker fan.
I understand.
Kobe,
Okay.
Kareem,
Okay.
LeBron James. I got LeBron James fourth.
Okay.
And the simple fact, and let me explain this. Michael Jordan is the face of the NBA. Greatest of all times because he's the face of the NBA. I bet you got a pair of Jordans in your closet right now.
All day.
Are you wore them? You wore them before. I know you have, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael Jordan, I hated this. Hit so many buzzer beaters to win the game. He carried teams so much. LeBron James needed help. He really didn't do it on his own. But don't let me correct that. Michael Jordan had help. It was a collective team, but he made other people better. LeBron James made other people better as well. We could say that as well too. But it's just a difference. I guess because of my era of where I was raised and how it was more physical in the NBA when we talk about the physicalness, because it's not that no more. Where you had the New York Knicks, where you had Charles Oakley and all them guys and Patrick Ewing, and then you had the Bad Boys, you had Detroit. You know what I'm saying? You had Isaiah Thomas with Bill Laimbeer and all those guys and James Edwards. I mean, and then you could go to Portland too, Jerome Kersey and all them guys. So you had Sean Kemp on the Sonics. You had Donovan. You had star players almost on every team.
Every roster.
Brad Daugherty on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I mean, I could go on and on. It was more competitive. It was way more competitive. So when LeBron James came in, it wasn't that competitive. It was, but it wasn't, because you had Kobe in here, and then you had Shaq. Shaq is dominating too. I don't want to throw off Shaq like that, because Shaq is right there in my top 5. Like he's there too. But what I'm trying to say is that Michael Jordan was a different, special kind of player. LeBron James is a different, special kind of player, but I won't say he's the greatest. I would have to say Michael Jordan is the greatest, just based on a simple fact that the finals that he won and how he won it.
Yeah,
I agree. How he won it though. He could have the most points. LeBron James could have the most points and everything, but it's how Michael Jordan won. He beat the Lakers. He beat Detroit. You get what I'm saying? And these hard physical teams. Isaiah Thomas was the business. He would give these kids the business if he was in his younger days. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, these athletes before, and you could kind of tell in the younger days, in my days growing up, these people that was in the NBA, they look like men. I mean, you can look at them; they don't look like no kids. The kids, but they was actually men. They was bigger, they was taller, they was just like more physical, and the refs let them play. They let them play. They didn't blow the whistle how they blowing whistles now. You look at the last finals, man. They foul. They didn't foul. Like, it was just a lot of fouls called that shouldn't have been called.
Yeah,
it shouldn't have been called at all.
I agree. I totally agree.
So that's why I say Michael Jordan is number 1. Kobe is number 2. That's my boy. Kobe Bryant is my boy. He hit a lot of yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, but the last game with Miami and Boston. If Kobe was on Miami, there's no way Boston would have won that game. That's all I have to say, because Kobe would have got him up by 10 points, and it would have been over with.
I mean, some kind of way he would have got it done. Yeah, everything that you say, I totally agree. So, like, how I view it with LeBron, I get the numbers, I get all of that, and stuff like that, and those are wonderful accomplishments.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just like kind of like MVPs and defensive players and first team, blah blah blah. those are great accomplishments, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, I don't like to rate a player solely on championships, but we do have to rate the championships. And how I look at it is that LeBron can't be better than Mike when he was not better than Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
because when you go, let's go into the time machine to where LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Bosh. So that's supposed to be the new blood in the NBA. These are supposed to be this it guy. LeBron's supposed to be King James, supposed to be kind of like that Magic and Bird mix of he's going to bring the NBA to a whole nother level. This, that, all the above. Absolutely. All of that hype, which is understandable. But let's also remember, with that being said, too, Kobe was still winning championships later in his career
Yep.
with Pau Gasol, that was up in age, Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, Metta War Peace, Trevor Ariza was on the first team, you know, and Sasha Vujacic. Obviously, I know these people because I'm a Laker fan, but if you was to ask the average person to name you 3 to 4 people on that particular roster that Kobe won on, you can't even give me a name past Pau Gasol. And
Yeah.
so, and even with that, LeBron couldn't do nothing with Kobe. LeBron's bigger, faster, stronger, but Kobe still in that post giving him that work all day long. Not like sometimes, no, like it's the work
Who's
every
who's
single time. And
who's
and I
who's
use
I'm sorry, hold
Kobe.
that thought. Who's the more consistent shooter? You know what I'm saying? That's all it says. Who's the more better shooter? It's Kobe Bryant. Who know how to make their free throws? Kobe Bryant. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. And so it was like, like Kobe didn't give him no night off, where it's like he wasn't bringing it. To be honest, Kobe didn't start losing to LeBron until he teamed up over there in Miami.
Yeah.
And that's when it kind of, but then, you got 3 of the same draft class, you know, that, on the same team. And that's too where it's kind of like, I get it that all players need other players to win, because it's not just a one man show. I totally get it. If we go with Hall of Famers, right? If we go with Jordan, Rodman, Hall of Famer, Pippen, Hall of Famer, they gave it to Tony Kukoc. I don't know why about that one, but
Yeah.
past that, who else?
Mm-hmm.
Were LeBron, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade.
Mm-hmm.
He played with Carmelo.
Yeah.
He played with Kyrie. He played with Kevin Love. He
Yeah.
played with Ray Allen. Who else? I know I'm missing like another guy,
Yeah. You
but
are. Yeah.
but just off the top of my head, I'm naming about 7, 8 dudes that, you know, these dudes that he played with were the best players on different clubs.
Right.
Chris Bosh was the best player in Toronto when he went over there to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
When they came to Miami, Dwayne Wade was
The
and
best player.
still the best player in Miami.
Facts.
When Kevin Love came over to
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, he was the best player
Facts.
in Minnesota. Kyrie was the first overall pick. And when he came over and joined forces, Kyrie was the best player on Cleveland. Wiggins was there too. They traded him.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a chance to play with Wiggins, kind of. He
Mm-hmm.
shipped Wiggins off.
Mm-hmm.
He played with Zalgiris Algauskas. He played with Carlos Boozer. You know what I mean? He played with Mo Williams. He played with
Yep.
Darius Miles. He played with Ricky Davis. Now, those are just other guys. They're not Hall of Famers, but you know what I mean? And that's when he was drafted with Cleveland, you know,
Right.
because see, a lot of people miss this one concept. See, LeBron had no choice to be successful because let's keep in mind, he was worth $100 million before he knocked down a jump shot in the NBA. Because remember, Nike gave him that contract.
Right.
Now, people fail to realize these comments by Ricky Davis when they played their first few games and they were asking about, because it was a lot of media. And remember, Ricky Davis said, well, you know, he's not the only one that can run up and down the court and dunk the ball.
Yeah.
And mind you, that team was broken up the next year. Carlos Boozer shipped off to Utah.
Yeah.
Ricky Davis, I don't know where he went. Darius Miles kind of out the league.
I think Ricky went to Charlotte. Didn't he go to Charlotte or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good as Al Galsa say there. So basically, big personality players, they got rid of it because it's a conflict of interest. We see that 20 years later what he's kind of did with the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has to be his way or the highway.
Yeah.
And that's why
personality, it's always been like that.
And see,
it's always been like that.
It's hard for me to kind of put LeBron over Magic.
Yeah.
Because
no, I really thought about that when I said that, though. I should have corrected myself and said Magic Johnson, then LeBron James. Or I should have said Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, then LeBron James.
Because like with Magic, as we both know, that when Magic first came in with the team that they had, he put the ball in spots where they can win. You get big game James Worthy and y'all, what? Just click and y'all winning still. So Magic, in my personal opinion, is the best top 3 best point guards to ever play because he had the ability to make you better because he made the game easier for you.
Hey, I'm mad at you, man. Why you didn't tell me to put on my Laker jersey, man? I mean,
you know what? This was like literally on the top of the.
It was on the top right now.
It was literally on top. I swear to God, it was literally on top of my thing. I just threw it on because I wore a shirt and I spilled something on it eating some food. So I was like, okay, I can't come out here looking too crazy. I just grabbed this and throw it on. It just so happened to be the Kobe jersey. This is the 8-24. Yeah. I got the 24 on the back. I got lucky with that, man. But
nice.
Man, I'm like, so really quick, because we've been on here for about an hour and a half. I could be on for 4 hours, but I don't want to bore our viewers too much and stuff like that. And it's been extremely fun and entertaining and fruitful. And I'm gonna work very hard to continue this. You know, at least not once a week, where you know, because the finals is here. So by that time, we should be in game 2 or 3. Yeah, and then we'll have, you know, we could talk about some more X's and O's. So before we kind of bring this to a mile end, so Golden State in 6 for you.
You know what? I'm gonna be more realistic. I'm gonna go game 7 at Golden State. I'm gonna go game 7. I think realistically, I gotta give Boston a little bit more credit because, I mean, it really eats me up inside that Tatum is an awesome player and he had Kobe Bryant's arm brace, you know what I'm saying, 24, and Kobe talked to him. Hey, Kobe talked to him. He said, "This is my game, Tatum," and I believe Kobe talked to Tatum because he's a special player. Tatum in today's game, I bow down to Tatum because I love that guy, man. There's certain people that I like in the NBA, and Tatum has it. He has a desire to win. He wants this championship so bad that he wants it. And I just hate that he plays for Boston Celtics.
Yeah. Here's the crazy part about it, because remember, Kobe was upset that they didn't get Tatum because Kobe was like, out of every guard that I'm looking at, this guy is kind of already NBA ready.
Mm.
He's a Duke Blue Devil, so he's coached under Krzyzewski.
Okay.
So he's well coached. He's going to play under control. Kobe's a fan of Coach K as well. And right from the beginning, when we was just watching them and, working out and things like that, I'm like, nah, this kid right here is, that's not an amateur move. Like these are kind of like pro moves that this guy's kind of already doing.
Yeah.
And then he knows who to get to. For you to survive a summer with Kobe, and Kobe ain't gave you no backlash, because we already know if you wasn't showing up to work, he didn't mind bashing Shaquille O'Neal. He didn't mind bashing Nick Young. He didn't mind bashing Dwight Howard.
Right.
He didn't mind bashing them dudes because he played for those guys. They played with him. And so he saw the work ethic and stuff, and he had no problem going on a stage like, nah, I didn't respect or appreciate Shaquille O'Neal till I played with Dwight Howard. Ouch.
Yeah.
And telling Nick Young during practice, look, I'm solidified. I'm a Hall of Famer. I don't need to be here I'm practicing for y'all. Like, I don't need to be here. Right. My name is already solidified. Like, if y'all not even half of what I'm doing, when I'm here in practice early and I'm leaving late, it's for a young guy to say, Kobe, my favorite player, I've been watching him, and I'm going to go see him. He don't know who I am, but I'm going to go to him. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this guy respect and work with him, because, see, think about how many people really wanted to work with Jordan. Do you think people probably wanted to work with Jordan? But how many people Jordan going to work with?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
And people, and even Mike talked about his relationship after the death of Kobe. Like, this guy used to call me at 3 a.m, on some, hey, da-da-da. He like, damn, kid, do you go to sleep? Like, man, it's 3 a.m. What you talking about game plan for tomorrow?
Yeah.
like, what's wrong with this kid? So you are absolutely right. I hate that he's a Boston Celtic, but just to see Tatum starting to blossom, like when he did that one little out of bounds move where he kind of went this way, he went, bounced the ball once, shot that little fadeaway. I'm like, ooh. And he did that to Butler.
It's been a lot of shots that I've seen him. Yeah, it's been a lot of shots that I've seen him shoot up that I saw Kobe. I could just see Kobe shooting that shot when he made those 15 footers, whatever, what I'm saying, and the threes. And it's just like, basketball is a zone. When you in a zone and you feel it, you just feel it. And you keep going at it because you feel like you're unstoppable. If I get to my spot, you can't be stopped.
Yeah, if I get to my spot, I'm going to make this shot.
Easily.
Like Charles Barkley talked about that when he would post. I want to go middle. I'm going to go middle. I'm going to get there still. Even if I got to fade here and then power to this middle, I'm getting middle. So either you bite on that fake and I go middle, or if you just happen to meet me there in the middle, to go through you. Right. And that was like the thing, that was the energy that Shaq and even Kobe brought, where it was like they went through you. Like you was there, it was like whatever. I've seen, like you said, I've seen Kobe hang in the air so long and come down and flick that shot and it's in. But so Warriors is 7. I want to say I'll say if Boston gets to 7, they lose. So Boston, in my opinion,
is 6.
needs to steal game one. Split.
They need to
Split.
steal one.
Split game one and two. And then win home games in maybe six. Six for Boston. If it goes the distance, Golden State is going to capture the championship. It's a high percentage. I'm not even just going off the crowd. I'm just going off of how much mental fortitude are these guys gonna have?
No, I gotta take that. I think it's 4-2 now. Because I think Warriors win 4-2. You know why? Because I think the Warriors win the first two games at home, and then I think they go to Boston, and I think they lose that game in Boston. But that next game that they have, I think Warriors win, and they bring it home that next game, and they win it. So I think actually it's not.
So that's gonna be tough. That's on Boston floor.
That's actually 4.
That's in Boston.
What game?
If they go 6, because it goes 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. So first 2 in Golden State, then 2 in Boston. So Oh wait, no, you're right.
I really think they 4-2.
It does go back to Golden State. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think they win 4-2.
Well, they better escape. We're gonna see if one of us is correct. Next week. We'll try to get on here Monday. I think Monday be good if it's good for you. Try to get on here Monday.
Okay. Hopefully that's good.
There'll be some games on. We'll jump on here. This time is good too.
Yeah, 5:00.
Okay. All right, perfect. I'm not. Anybody watching, don't bother me. I'm doing my stuff now. This is what I like to do. No computer, no nothing, just all right here, stuck in this crazy mind of mine. Jamal, he raves about how I can remember details of like the players in certain things, and he was like, how do you, because like I told him that Jordan wears the band right here on his arm, his left arm, and then Jordan's knee thing always slides down to the calf on his left leg. And he goes, how the heck do you know that? I'm like, I don't know. Just like Reggie Miller with the 31 on the 2 fingers right here, like, I don't know. And that was without high definition TV. Noticing that. Right. I said, I don't know. I said, I just paid attention to them. But
that's cool.
But it's been a pleasure, Jamal. I don't know if you want to come back on with us and put a final spin with us if you like. I see him on, but I don't see him here. Yeah. I don't know if it's my layout. Let me see if it's my layout. No, it's not my layout. See if he comes on here. Okay, wait, he's grabbing the mic now. We don't hear you, Jamal, if you're saying anything. He's laughing. I can see him, but I can't see him live with us. No, what he's doing the thumbs down. Yeah. I don't know what that means. Jamal, this is the wonderful thing about this podcast. That we have bloopers and things all day, and I guess this was going to make the personality of the show. Our technical difficulties on the fly. We just figuring it out, and we just roll with it. I'm trying to see if he wants to. I see him, but I don't know if he wants to get on or not. I don't know if I shut it down or he shuts it down. I don't know. And
we'll catch him on a rebound though. He got the thumbs down on my thing.
Okay, yeah, I see him. All right, so
Monday it is at 5.
Monday at 5. So we're gonna hold that down. We're gonna be on here weekly. So we are going to see what the finals will do. So it's been a pleasure and a wonderful thing. Oh wait, hold on. Bridging the gap. She didn't came in here. Ooh, Golden State in 5. What?
He said 5.
Ooh. She might keep me on here for another hour. That's a basketball mind too. Golden State in 5. Mm, mm,
Golden State is
mm,
6. She said 5. She said 5. I
mm.
said 6. I tried to give Boston some credit, but
Mm.
so she said 4-1, and
Ooh,
that's very possible.
ooh,
She giving Boston one game.
ooh. Wait, hold on, hold on. Ooh, ooh. Oh, she wants to get on here. She come on, sweet. Hold on. She got me sweating here. Ooh, 5. Ooh, ooh. Let's see. Yeah, come on,
She
sweet. Come
said
on.
she says 6 is more realistic though, which is it is. Give them 2 games. But I don't think it's gonna be more than 2 games. I think Golden State they're gonna mollywop them. I think mollywop means they gonna dominate. And people don't know.
I'm gonna
In
see.
my terms.
Charmaine, I don't know if you want to get on here. You're more than welcome. Let's. I don't know if she's able to though too, because she's a full-time mommy, so she may not have the space, but she's commenting, so we're gonna see. But okay, so it's really laggy on my end with the because you said the 6 more realistic. I'm just now seeing that.
Oh
But
really?
oh, I can't make comments. That's crazy. I guess whatever. I don't even see. Well, almost press something and screw stuff up. But let me see if she does want to get in on this. And I mean, I with this particular young lady, she's played basketball all her life and went to college and played. So she's played at lots of high levels. So her IQ for the game is very, very, very high and valid. So let's just see if I can get her on here before we get off,
All
because
right.
I'm just and I see her right here, but I don't see her on my screen yet or on the main screen. I think. Do I gotta pull her? Oh, okay. I gotta do it. I think. Oh, so I have the control here. I'm learning something,
Greetings, all.
Mrs. Barris. So 5 games.
I don't think Tatum is going to be as powerful as people think he's going to be. You have a defender. Hold on, let me figure out my son then hit my remotes. So, um, I mean, you got Klay Thompson that's going to be defending him, and then you have Draymond.
So
That
they'll
those
so they'll
that
slide
alone right
Draymond.
there.
So you think they'll slide Draymond over? How tall is Tatum? Is he like what 6'7"?
Well,
Six.
who you have Wiggins or what's that other dude that could take Horford? Like is they there's really no centers. So and he's not really a threat in the post like that. So why not slide Draymond over to Tatum?
And on top of that, though, you have Andre Iguodala that haven't played, that might play.
Forgot he
He's
was
on the
actually on
roster.
the Warriors. Yeah, that's what
Yes,
I.
he's on the bench that he possibly could play
I
in the
I,
finals.
I
I
have
think he's going
come
to play.
unprepared.
So if that's the case, then Golden State in 5.
Ooh.
Forgot about him, right?
Golden State in 5 then.
So it's a lot to this story, man. Like I said, Golden State is just deep.
Ooh,
People don't realize how deep Golden State is until you really look at their roster.
It just
And they
we
shooting
just
is
got a
better than
burst of
Miami's.
warmness in here. I'm warm.
Middleton didn't play, so like I said, I think the Bucks would have won the series if Middleton played for the Bucks, Milwaukee. And they're shooting. The teams that they played, their shooting can't even compare to Golden State. They It just couldn't. It can't compare to them.
No objections.
So okay. I like Draymond. So now I'm breaking down this offense of Golden State because I think it's going to take a little bit more than just Steph and Thompson offensively. I understand that the other kid he's playing pretty good, but a lot of those points that he did score were layups due to the fact that there was no decent rim protection that Dallas could provide. So I think that those points, I don't know. I might.
It's not going to be an offensive match. This is going to be defense, and defense wins the games because you have Draymond that's going to shut down Tatum, and you have Thompson that's going to cut down Smart. So who else is there for Boston, really?
So you saying that the Golden State Warriors is a better defensive team than Boston?
They will be, yeah. Like one-on-one defense, yes.
I guess you talk about matchup wise because they're a good matchup. You know, I think overall Boston has the better defense overall, like as a collective, as a team, and to some points. But when you look at the matchup, because you don't have no Draymond Green now on Miami, you don't have a Klay Thompson. These guys is more serious with more experience. You get what I'm saying? They have the experience, so that's what makes basketball different in the finals.
And like you saw how Tatum was aggressive. Like when teams played him aggressive, he kind of was just like, "Oh, I wasn't ready for this. Hold up, let me get it back together." Right. And you putting pressure on him like that from Draymond?
Yeah.
I'm like, I see it, but I can't see it. Because
we're arguing for arguing's sake.
I like Draymond, but I don't know. I'm like, I don't, because
let me answer this question. If you had a starting five and you was down to your small forward out of Draymond Green and Jaylen Brown, who would you take?
I'd go with Draymond, because that's the defense right there. Jaylen's the offense, but it's like it's kind of flimsy too.
That's exactly what I said earlier in the show. And I think Draymond is a better passer than Brown. He gets the other team involved. You get what I'm saying? So he gonna be moving that ball. And Klay Thompson gonna be open. Steph Curry, they move around a lot. So
and and Draymond still has an offensive threat when he wants to be. So you can't count him out for that.
So I'm gonna be biased here. Because that's the only angle I had with you guys combining our powers together here. So look, when you got on Kobe Bryant, you don't come to lose. And Tatum is rocking these shoes with this 24 on him. And this kid he planning on not losing. So I don't know. I just think that there's a certain edge that I think that this kid is working it with, and I don't know.
So is he going to be able to put up 40 every game so that they can win?
I think that he might be. I think that he has maybe made that decision in his mind that he's going to do that.
You can't be Golden State with one person.
No, you're absolutely right. But, it sounds good to say it, that, I want to give Boston a chance here. But I'm like, everything you guys are saying is true. I just still think that Celtics is a better defensive team collectively. One-on-one, I haven't got into that far details yet. I do understand at the small forward position, as far as the defense is concerned, with Draymond pick over Brown, I still just say Brown because I do understand the impact of defense, but I just think that because if it's a team effort of the collectiveness of defense, that's going to be overall better. And I don't think that we're going to see that matchup with Tatum and Draymond because Draymond's going to have to guard Horford. That's just plain and simple. That's why I circle him on the Celtics as the X factor for them because Horford can do a little bit of everything. He can post, he can score, he can spot up, shoot, defend, and rebound the basketball. And he is their anchor on defense. But the difference between the two is that Horford scores better and more efficient than Draymond. And them points might add up. Because if for Draymond's 6-7 points, yeah, he might have 7 assists. He might even have a good handful of rebounds. But if Horford gets a double-double, that's gonna increase the chances for Boston to win. Because it's gonna be the point discrepancy.
But all the other stuff, you'll give Horford his little double-double. Long as Smart and Tatum don't get those numbers, it's still a win for Golden State. Like you care less about Horford. Like I ain't trying to say
Clay's got to be the X factor on defense then.
And he will. They'll start him out with Tatum, and see how that matchup and lineup goes. Because Tatum's gonna have to run around a lot more in guarding Clay or even Steph.
I don't even want him to. I wouldn't even want that kid to be bothered with that.
All right,
he's out of control.
It's in black and white right now. It's in black and white. And the reason why I say this is because if Boston's up by 25 points, I'm not panicking. I'm not scared. If Golden State's up by 25, you better be scared.
There's a little bit of lag or feedback from somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from.
So there's some static.
Yeah, you hear it too?
I do hear the static too. I don't hear it now.
I don't know if it's me.
Well, wait. You stopped.
It went away. Oh, so look, they trying to get one of us on here. Oh wait, it might be me. It started up again.
I hear it now.
I don't know. When you guys talk, I'll mute.
Well, no, I was just saying what I said was basically I wouldn't be scared if Boston was up by 25 points in the game and Golden State was behind. But if Golden State up by 25, I don't think Boston will have a chance to come back at all.
I agree. No, I agree with that.
So that's an advantage. If a lot of people think that way, you got to think about the team, about who they have. You get what I'm saying? It's just a thought, like, because Boston had dry spells. Like they capable of losing a game when the game is on the line. They fall down. They last game they was up by 16 points. They was up by 16 points, and they couldn't close them out.
Games are different from work, which is usually carried out for
nobody's talking to her.
From art, which is more often an expression of aesthetic or ideological elements.
Oh, she just started talking about the game. Okay, for sure, Google. Thank you so much, sweetheart, I guess. But we can't be one-sided here. So to make it interesting, I'm still gonna root for the Celtics. And I know a lot of my friends are gonna be like, "Oh, because Chris likes them anyway." That's the face I'm giving.
And I'm hearing it all the time on Facebook. I got a lot of friends for the Celtics. They think that the Celtics got a momentum going, and I just don't see it. I mean, I see the momentum that they have, but against Golden State, the matchup makes
Jamal, I'm gonna add you in here because I didn't know I had the power to do all of this. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I don't know if this is going to be like one of the best finals that I'll see. I don't know, but these are two really different teams. But if things, I won't lie to you, if the Boston Celtics do not come with a solid game plan and follow my game plan, they will make you
If
guys' fate come true. They could lose in 5.
let me tell you this: if Tatum has 40 points almost every game, or in the high 30s, and had these double doubles, they go to Game 7. I'm scared because this
Mm.
guy is like, you know what I'm saying? If they go to game, he has double doubles. That's a good, like, it's going to be a good Game 7. I got the Warriors, but Tatum could possibly, if he on this Kobe level, on this Kobe level, doing it himself. He's actually doing it himself. And he have
I won't say that Tatum's on Kobe level, but I will say that not being afraid like Kobe Bryant, he's there. He's not afraid of the moment. I think that's what I see in him now. The intangibles and other stuff. Even around that age, Kobe wasn't Kobe. You
yeah.
know, Kobe was a slasher. Kobe just could get in the paint and just was a menace in the painted area. So even with this game that Tatum has, this is more aged Kobe Bryant, that he's learning from, which is just as effective. So, um, but I think as far as just scared of the moments, I do see that with Tatum in comparison to Kobe or a Kobe like player like Mike, like Kobe. I'm sorry, I don't want our man to get on my case here because Mike's her guy.
Body is a replica.
Even though there is somebody better than him. we have our we have our individual battles.
Don't have that.
But I think it's going to be fun. Really quick, I know we're running on 2 hours. I'm sorry, Lonnie, if you have something to do.
Oh, no, that's cool.
So, Virginia Gap TV. So, we had the discussion really brief about, LeBron being labeled as a GOAT. Do you want to add to that? Because me and Lonnie before, I don't know if you had saw before, basically we had disagreed that Mike is still that guy. Lonnie even gave out a top 10. I didn't give out a top 10, but I just simply just said it in these words that I don't think that he surpassed Kobe Bryant in some categories and some angles. So, as in your words, I know that you said that Kobe's the closest thing to Mike. So it's like if you didn't even get, you're not better than the closest thing to Mike. You can't be better than Mike. So uh, in your opinion, is LeBron the GOAT with the numbers that he's chasing now?
Uh, I'll say I'm always gonna say Jordan because of what he's done for the game, the greatest of all time. Kobe, of course, is number 2. LeBron, because the NBA has changed so much. What's going on, Jamal? No, because the NBA has changed so much. It's like you catered to LeBron, and that's how, like, everybody that was competitive, competition worthy to be great in regards to numbers pushed LeBron to the forefront of that. And I just feel like you can't spoon feed greatness.
Mm,
Whereas I feel like
wow.
Jordan changed the game and made you call him a great. Kobe showed you, like, all my moves, I emulate this man to the point where I'm trying to get that one over Jordan. Like,
Hmm.
I'm doing the best I can to emulate him, and y'all still put me at number 2.
Hmm.
And then for LeBron, it's just like, here you go, GOAT status. Like, but I don't. Jordan number 1, Kobe 2, and LeBron will be 3 if that's who I got to choose. Like for the 3.
That's a very powerful word that you had used there, and I've never heard that before. Spoon fed, and I'm wow. You got my mind spinning around in a circle. Like, wait a minute, like that might be what we are seeing here.
And like,
Wow.
there's no way you allow a dominant size player or your logo of a LeBron up his enemies.
I agree.
There's no way that should happen in a competitive sport. You should not be teaming up with your enemies, your competitors. You need to go out there and prove why you're better than this person, why you're better than Matt, why you're better than whoever was in Kobe era that I can't even think of, because Kobe to me is the greatest. Like, LeBron is like, oh, you had Carmelo, you got this person, and what? You guys are on the same team now. Like, oh, okay, it's your NBA. Do what you want to do. Like, sure, you want to chips over here with this team? Yeah, no problem. Go ahead. Oh, you want to get a starting 5 that's the greatest? Wade, Shaq? Go ahead, no problem. You
That's a great point there.
greatness. That's how I feel.
No, I'm like, very well said and very powerful words. And from us basketball heads in this room, and we had friends that we grew up with that played the game as well, but we worked hard to beat them and others. If you wasn't on my team, then you are an enemy. Yes, we can dap it up after the game, but I don't want to play with you
Yeah.
unless I'm forced to. And then if we're having a collective effort of talking among players, and you guys are my peers, vice versa, yeah, I want to be labeled as the top. Like, yeah, they good, but I'm better. Like, those my homeboys, but nah, ain't doing what I'm doing. And that's just the competitive nature that basketball, along with other sports like football and etc., bring out in you. And yes, you did make a great point that him doing that, he showed, I don't want to use the word cop out, but a cop out way to, like, if you can't beat them, join them type thing. And that's like if Magic teamed up with Bird or Bird teamed up with Magic, like that would be such a black eye. Like, what? You
Had the
guys,
greatest basketball moment has been in no, like, who's LeBron gonna go against? Already got Westbrook. Like, who
yeah,
you force somebody to come up new, but then it's like that level of competition isn't there to begin with. Like, LeBron being on the Lakers, as old as he is and as many years he still played in the league, I still feel like he can still run through a whole team if he needed to. Like, he's just unstoppable. And the fact that you're gonna sit back, I admire him for allowing people, to like try and get some rings that have been in the league before him for a while. Oh, just team up with me. Like, I'll get you a ring for you. Like, if these your flowers, you're due for a ring. Come with me, I'll help you. I admire him for that, but trash.
yeah, I think that was a huge black eye when he went over there to Miami. I think that was like that mm, like that was like a huge black eye. And then when he seen that ship was sailing, or it was like that all he could get, excuse me, out of Miami. Oh well, Cleveland got the first overall pick, 2 young talent, youthful guys. Let me come over here now and team up with these guys And then now people know the contract, like, oh, okay, he could play with a superstar if I'm allowed to dumb myself down into his graces and play with him, then it can work. Because when we look at Kevin Love from the numbers that his numbers were before he left Minnesota until when he won the championship in Cleveland and how he is now, Kevin Love is almost kind of outly ruined because Kevin Love was like a 20 and 15 guy, period.
Yeah.
Period. Like people are talking about the Joker, Nokic. That was Kevin Love in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was him. Like nothing flying that Kevin don't get it done. So I don't know.
Yeah, we on the same page. It's, like I said, I had Jordan #1 and Kobe #2. I mean, as far as the best players in the NBA in the history of the NBA, that was my pick. And then third, I had to go back in time with Kareem because I had to put Kareem there because he was unstoppable. It was just an unstoppable move that nobody couldn't stop, and that was a sky hook. So that made him great. You get what I'm saying? So certain people that has a certain move or a certain style that you can't stop that won championships and won games is a great player. Steph Curry, 3-point shot. My top 10 because he's the best 3-point shooter in the NBA ever. And the way he do it though, like the way he does it, you know what I'm saying? Certain people, Reggie Miller did it in some way, but on a consistent basis, like he's shooting and not even looking at the shot and making it, like because he know it's going in, and he doing the little jig. And, I mean, it's just unbelievable stuff to me, So, but that's Magic Johnson, the greatest no-look pass guy ever to me, and he builds off momentum. Showtime, Magic Showtime. There would never be a Magic. It would never be Magic Johnson. You get what I'm saying? That most dominant center, like as far as power, not stopping foul all the time, fouling somebody all the time, trying to pick his arms off, and that can't stop him because he's unstoppable. Because you're trying to win the game. The one of the greatest. So these players that I'm speaking facts of, just facts. Those are great players. Michael Jordan's great player, great scorer. The #1 scorer to me on when it's down, the game is on the line. Jordan about to get the ball again. I'm crying because I like Jordan because I'm a Laker fan. He about to win in the game. And I'm all like, oh, God, they already know what, So and Kobe the same way. And I'm glad that he became a Laker because I'm all like, we about to win. We about to win. Kobe, you know what I'm saying? 81 on Toronto. I mean, come on now. Well, it can't be any better than that.
And everything is valid. And I am getting confirmation that we are getting kicked off. Because I could be out here for 4 hours, but I keep putting your public name out there. Bridging the Gap, you're always welcome. Bonnie, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Jamal,
guys.
as well. Thank you, sir, for creating this opportunity for all of us. And please, comments, concerns, whatever. We'll be on here on Mondays. I'm creating myself to be too busy, and I don't like it. But anyways, it's going to be fun and fruitful, all that other stuff. So I am Christopher Barris and Paul Williams, Bonnie, my man, Bridging the Gap TV. We are all saying good night, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much. I guess I have the ability to end this. So we're going to end it on that note, and we will be here on Monday at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock your time out there in Perry, Bryan, or I don't screw that all up. You in Texas. So we be seeing you at 7. And and everybody stay blessed and all that good stuff. And we holler at y'all.